All right, Rebels, welcome back to Podcasters Business Insider, where we help creators turn side hustles into sustainable media empires. Last week, we talked about the mindset shift, treating your podcast like a business, not like a hobby. This week, we're turning that mindset into mechanics because let's face it, motivation fails, inspiration fades, but systems last forever. Today, I'm going to be breaking down 3 systems every professional podcaster has, whether they've got 100 downloads or 100,000 downloads. So let's get your show running like a machine. Most podcasters fail not because they don't care, but because they rely on motivation rather than structure. Think of motivation like caffeine. It gives you a short burst of energy, but then you crash. Systems are like an IV drip, steady, reliable, and automatic. Systems don't just make your podcast easier, they make it inevitable. If you've ever missed a week, lost track of ideas, or found yourself editing till 2 a.m. on a Friday night, that's not a creative issue. That is a system issue. So let's fix that right now. The first system every pro podcaster needs is a content engine, a way to keep ideas flowing and episodes planned. A business doesn't wake up every morning wondering, what am I going to sell today? And neither should you. Your content engine is your roadmap. It starts with a simple Notion or Google Sheet that includes your topic bank, your episode release dates, your content themes, like business, mindset, growth, just as examples. When you layer in your repurposing plan, which clips become shorts, which quotes become posts, which segments turn into blogs. When you see your content laid out like a supply chain, you realize it isn't chaos anymore. It's an operation. Now that you know what you're creating, you need a way to produce it efficiently. That's your production engine. This is your step-by-step standard operating procedure, or your SOP. You should know exactly what happens from idea to recording, to editing, to upload. My workflow looks like this. There's an outline, there's a recording session, there's an editing session, export, and then it goes to an upload and publish, and then finally repurpose into shorts, which lead back to this main video, which hopefully that you have clicked on one of the shorts that led you to this video. Simple, right? Here's where people mess up. They skip the documentation. If your process only lives in your head, it dies when you're tired or busy or burnt out. And believe me, you will get burnt out. Write it down once and you'll never forget it again. Your production engine removes the guesswork. It reduces burnout, and it gives you the freedom to focus on content, not chaos. If you've ever felt overwhelmed, it's not because you're doing too much. It's because you're doing it without a map. Finally, you need a growth engine. The system that takes your content and puts it in front of new people every single week. Posting your episodes isn't the finish line. It's only the starting line. Your growth engine should include 3 pillars: repurposing, turning every episode into shorts, reels, quotes, or blog posts; promotion, sharing your socials, newsletters, and collaborations; and performance tracking, watching what actually is working. Most podcasters hit publish and hope for the best. But pro podcasters use data. They check retention graphs. They study what titles perform. They test their hooks. That's how you turn randomness into results. So let's zoom out for a second here. These three systems, content, production, and growth, are like gears in an engine. When one spins, it powers the next. If one gear stops, the whole machine slows down. Your job is to keep all three turning, even if it's slowly, until momentum takes over. And once you've built that infrastructure, your podcast becomes unstoppable. So here's your challenge for this week. I want you to pick one of these systems and start building it. Maybe you build your first Notion content tracker. Maybe you document your production workflow, or maybe you just start planning your repurposing strategy. Whichever one you choose, start today. Because consistency doesn't come from motivation, it comes from systems. And if you want help building yours, download the 7-Day Podcast Blueprint. It's free, and it walks you through how to set up these three engines step by step. You'll find the link below, and don't forget to hit subscribe and like us, and hit that bell to let you know when we're coming out with a new video. Until next time, keep building, keep creating, and as always, long live the rebellion.